Welcome to Not Guilty, Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
Welcome to Not Guilty, Lawyers, Guns, and Money with Edward D. Johnson III, founding attorney of Edward Johnson and Associates, PC. Edward is a Chicago criminal defense attorney who handles serious cases involving traffic stops that quickly escalate into searches, arrests, and criminal charges. I'm LeAnn Lyon, and today we are talking about what not to do during a traffic stop, because the way those first few minutes unfold can have a major impact on everything that happens next. Edward, when somebody gets pulled over, what is already happening from the officer's perspective before they even approach the vehicle?
So the officer's perspective and how they're trained and how they're dealing with traffic stops is everyone's going to basically shoot you, is what they are taught. And they will walk up to the car, and everything they'll do from that point is all about officer safety. I put together a list of just the top 5 things, what not to do in a traffic stop, and I'll just rattle those off real quick for you. The first one is when you get pulled over and you're on the side of the road, do not get out of the car before the police come up to the window. Okay? Just do not do that. Like the police come up there, they tell you, hey, you got to get out of the car. Yes, you do have to get out. It's for officer safety, like I said. So they might ask you to get out of the vehicle. You don't need to consent to any searches. You don't need to do those things, but you have to get out, or they'll charge you with resisting arrest. And you're not actually being arrested, but that's what they'll charge you with because it's a safety issue. That's what they're trying to do. The second one is don't make any sudden movements. That's number 2. Don't be moving around, going in the glove box, center console, digging around underneath the seat. Just keep your hands on the steering wheel, remain calm. Everything's going to be fine as long as you follow these top five things. When the police talk to you, don't argue with them. That's going to escalate. It's going to get worse. Don't do that. And don't admit to anything. That's number 4. Don't admit to drinking. Why have you been drinking? No, you're just going home. You're just going in a direction. There's actually, based on a traffic stop, they're just pulling you over because there was a traffic violation. All right. So his investigation is just regarding that initial violation. So if he's asking you more questions, how much you've been drinking, anything else, he's trying to extend the traffic stop. You say, I wasn't drinking. Stop talking. Don't admit to anything. And the last one, number 5, is don't consent to any searches. So those are the top 5 things not to do in a traffic stop.
So I did at least one of those things wrong recently.
Oh, it happens. You're not the first.
To my embarrassment, I was pulled over because my tabs had expired. Perfectly legitimate reason to pull somebody over. They're looking for things like that. And then to my shock, he did not come up to the window on my side, which I expected. My hands were on the wheel. I thought I was doing it all right. And then I heard a tap, tap from the passenger side, which startled me. And I looked over, there he is. Actually makes sense from his point of view, safety point of view, right? And when he told me what it was, I immediately flipped open the glove box and started digging. And I kind of knew not to, but I hadn't been drinking. I didn't admit to doing anything else. I didn't have to get out of the car. I didn't have to submit to any searches. But I noticed he flicked his light through my back seat, and I just calmly understood that's what he was doing. So in those first few moments after the stop, what actions immediately start working against the driver?
Good thing is you complied with his request, rolled the window down. He just asked you, do you know your tags are expired? And then you went into the glove box. That's totally okay. But, it's when people start giving too much information, or I like to call it like verbal diarrhea. When they're like, I just was coming from my friend's house, we were drinking, and then I'm going to a bar, or you're coming back, it's 2 a.m, right? Like, stop talking. You don't need to do that. It's bad news.
So what changes when somebody does start answering questions, or worse, volunteering information during the stop?
Well, I think it's important to know, like, the police officer is not your friend. They've already pulled you over. They're trying to write you a ticket, and they're taught to kind of ask more questions. And so when you're in that situation, anything you provide to them is stuff that they had no idea until you told them, right? I mean, you're giving them all evidence against you. Anything you have laying out in your car, like you said, they were shining the flashlight. All that's within the plain view exception to the warrant requirement. If they can see or if they can smell, that they're going to charge you with anything. So don't have open alcohol, cannabis, those types of things in the car are going to get you in more trouble.
Absolutely. So, how does consent come into play? For example, when an officer asks to search the car.
So the Fourth Amendment requires all police officers to have probable cause to search a vehicle. You can waive that. You can consent. And I think the last time I saw the numbers, it's 96, 97% of searches are consented to. And you don't have to consent. So they might ask you out of the car, can I search your car? No. Can I search your trunk? No. And that you refuse is not a basis for them to search the vehicle. So you have your right to say no. And now if you ask you, why won't you let me search? You don't have to answer that because I don't want to, right? You don't have to say anything. But if you're in trouble, if you are drunk and you think you're going to get arrested for something, why would you make it easier for the police? They need to show that there's probable cause. So don't consent to the search. I have one. I should play this video, but I have somebody at a client that was pulled over and asked out of the car, and there was a situation where the car was parked and certain debris on the car that looked like it had been driven into like a storefront window and had like pots on the front of the car. And he's like, before I do anything, I just want to talk to a lawyer. That's what the client said. Smartest thing he did. They just arrested him. He went to jail. He was released later, and we got the charges dropped. There was nothing that actually came of it, but it was a unique situation where that client said all the right things.
So, the right thing is basically if you feel it's going a certain way, just say, I want to talk to a lawyer before I answer any other questions.
Yeah, before I do anything,
Before I do
I
anything.
start with that.
Yeah.
Right? They got you out of the car. They're already suspecting you of breaking additional laws. There's nothing you could possibly say that's going to get you out of that situation.
Right. So, what happens when somebody argues, resists, or becomes confrontational during a stop? We all see the videos.
Yeah, you see those videos, bad things happen. This is what happens. It's going to be more work. It's going to be more expensive. They're going to write you more tickets. But if you don't give them anything and you just comply with what they're asking for, you got to give them your license. You got to get out of the car when they tell you. But you don't need to argue about it. You're just going to get a ticket and get on your way. Don't escalate. Worst thing you can do.
If you were speaking to somebody who, let's say a young person, and they're concerned, what are the exact steps that you would tell them to do right from the get-go after pulling over safely?
I think before you even get in the car or you're sitting there, before you leave the house, leave the parking spot you're in, look around your car. Just see what's in plain view, what's around there. Are there prescription pills out there? Are there other things sitting there? Your vape pen, your cigarette vape pen, whatever. Or do you have an ashtray full of blunts in the car? Clean all that out. Don't be driving around with all that. You don't want to make your life more difficult and make it easier for the police. So do a first scan of the car. Make sure you got your tags updated. Make sure you got all the
Ta-da.
yeah, right. Make sure you got insurance on the car. Know where that is. You can just put it all in a little envelope and put it above the, or in the glove box. You can do whatever. You just kind of know this is going to happen. You can. I wouldn't leave your driver's license in the car, but you got to have it in your wallet or purse or anything else. And then, in the situation of you getting pulled over, you at least know you have peace of mind that there's not things out in plain view that the police can see in the car, and they're just pulling you over because of maybe of an easy traffic stop, or you have a light out, or there's some situation where it doesn't need to escalate, and they can just write you a ticket, and we can represent you. But if something bad happens, call our office. We do so many traffic cases, LeAnn. Like everything with the civil forfeiture, it all starts off a traffic stop. We're really good at the Fourth Amendment, all those issues regarding it, and defending our clients to the max on these. So call our office. We have a 24-hour call center. You can, if you have a case online, you go on our website, just type in a little memo. We'll get right back to you.
Okay. And what about, I mentioned, hands on the wheel, easy to see my hands. What about grabbing your license while the officer is walking up, or getting their license or getting your insurance ready for him in advance? Or do you just wait?
Just wait. And a lot of times you'll see when the police pull you over, they'll shoot a light in your rearview mirror. That's why you didn't see that officer come up to you on that window, because they try to to blind you so you don't know. So and he could think when you're grabbing up, down, whatever, you're getting a weapon, and they might shoot you. Why even just wait? Just see what they want. There could be so many different reasons that you think you're doing something wrong, and really it's just something like license plate tags or a lights out, and they're looking for a reason. But that's the best way to be protected.
Yeah, for sure. When I saw lights go behind me, I'm like, oh, I better pull over so he can get by. And then he pulled over behind me. I'm like, what? Really?
Yeah. Oh,
What in the world? Okay. Well, this will be fun.
yeah. Right. It happens. I get pulled over all the time.
Do you
And
really?
oh yeah, and I've been pulled over with my wife a couple times, and she can't believe how little I say. And she, tells those stories at cocktail parties. She can't believe how quiet I am, but it actually calms the whole situation down. I think every time, I got a little bit of a heavy foot, might be speeding a little bit, but uh, we sort it out, and I get a ticket, maybe a warning, maybe something else, but just saying anything, he's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "West."
Yep.
Like that's all you need to say. There's Supreme Court cases on that. There's,
You said West?
yeah.
I love it. I'm so going to remember that. But isn't that a little confrontational? I mean,
It's answering his question in the laws that the case law I've read about it is, you have to provide like general direction of where you're going,
yeah.
and that's all. It's all you have to tell them. If you're on the expressway, I was coming from the east, I'm going west.
Okay, that's a new one.
None of your business. None of your business. Yeah.
That's fascinating. Okay, radio. Let's talk about radio for a second. So some people say blast the radio on a Christian station or something and see if that'll get you out of it. Other people will say absolutely not. Turn the radio off. Just sit there.
Yeah. Oh man, I would not have the radio on. I would turn all that off. If you're wearing sunglasses, take them off. Put them on. Put them on your dash. Just be respectful. They're scared. They don't know who they're pulling over exactly once they see, I think, the Christian music. It might help if it puts you in the mindset of at least knowing what kind of situation you're in. But ultimately, it's just really about being calm and waiting to take direction from the officer, and not arguing with them. If it's like you're speeding, you're not speeding, you don't even have to admit to that. Or you drink, don't admit to drinking. They're gonna start doing field sobriety tests. It's bad. You don't need to do it.
Right.
So it's a situation that can be very, very bad for you, or just be a minor inconvenience. It's up to you on how far you want to take it.
So let's assume it goes a little bit further south and the officer asks you to step out of the vehicle. What is happening at that point in the stop?
So at that point in the stop, it's an officer safety thing. If there's more people in the car, they're going to want everyone to get out. Now, what a lot of police try to do is have you go into the actual trooper's car. Like the Illinois State Police does this. A lot of different other municipalities, they'll go, "Oh, well, come sit in the driver's seat of my car." And people think they have to get and they don't. You don't have to get into the car. You can just stand and be like, "No, I don't want to get in there. I'm just going to stand on the side of the road, wait for you to write me my tickets, and be on your way." But if you go into the squad car, you could run into issues. So you're going to be recorded there. There's microphones, cameras in there. Even in the front seat, I've seen so many different admissions that you wouldn't believe me, but it's bad. You don't want to. They got that whole thing mic'd up. It's like a sound system. It's bad. So anything you say, they're going to use it against you. And one thing you don't realize is while they go back there, so you give them your license, they go back, they're running a full check on you, they're running it through leads. And if you're on the expressway, now they have license plate scanners. So they're going to scan, they're going to type it in to Flock. Flock is a website. There's one other one, but what Flock does is it shows the direction of travel you're in. And each time you hit a certain checkpoint, so they can see if you're driving cross country from like California to Chicago, that you're following that direction and what states you've gone through. And they'll know that. And so then they'll take that and then they'll look at your background and they might ask you more questions just relating to that. So you want to be consistent and you don't want to give them too much.
So nationally, they can check you nationally now. And
Oh, yeah.
going back how far?
In under 5 minutes. I think probably 30 days, but
Wow.
if it's just a rental vehicle and you bought it in California and you're coming back, for whatever reason, they can see if if you went through Arizona or Colorado, if you're on 80, or if you took a different expressway like 88. It all depends, and they'll know. And so, however your direction of travel is, they'll ask you questions about it. Then they'll know what direction you're in. So that's an important thing to distinguish in between that. A lot of people don't realize that that's an issue.
So I got out of my situation with just a warning, although he also said he could not guarantee somebody else wouldn't stop me before I got to that DMV at 8 a.m. the next morning, which I did. But can you share an example of a stop that escalated because of something a driver did or said?
Yeah, I think every single DUI arrest is where someone admits to, I just had 2 drinks, just a couple. Oh, right. Not a lot, Oh, I was. So you're admitting to drinking, you're lying about how much you're drinking. That everyone says it. That's kind of like a keyword. And then it escalates to where they're trying to give you a breath test. They're checking your eyes. You're doing a walk and turn test. You're doing the one leg. And that's what kind of situation might have been resolved if you would have just said nothing.
Okay, well, I've learned a few things today, and I appreciate that. If you wanted to give one big picture moment here to wrap up our episode today, what would that be?
Clean your car. Clean the inside of it. Keep it clean. Be organized in the car. Spend 1 hour a week and just kind of make sure you have everything in the car. You got your license, your registration. Be street legal. Don't give up a traffic stop for no reason. If they pull you over and you didn't violate anything and they're just trying to say that, oh, we pulled you over because your car's suspicious, we can get all the evidence suppressed. Make it easier for yourself. If they don't have a basis to pull you over, then you are in great shape and we can beat the case and you're going to be all set. But really, it all comes down to just spending that extra hour, just kind of going through the car, making sure there's not anything that the police can see, making sure you got your driver's license, registration, insurance printed out. Like you're like, it's on my phone. I'll be able to find it. It's not, everyone panics when you're getting pulled over. You're not going to be able to find that on your Geico app or your Progressive app. You're not going to be able to pull that stuff up because you're going to be freaking out while the cops standing there and cars are whizzing by on the expressway. So just be a little organized. I think that's the best advice.
Yep, sure enough, I handed him an expired insurance card too. He said,
Yeah.
but he said, I can
Yeah.
see though. And he could see I had, current insurance. It's all there.
Oh, he could. Yeah.
And for those people that use the passenger side seat for, the garbage floor over there, yeah, clean it out once in a while. It stinks.
Oh, yeah. Clean the ashtray out.
All that. Well, thank you, Edward, for all of this. This is a great, I learned a few things, like I said. I appreciate it. So to our audience also, thank you for listening to Not Guilty, Lawyers, Guns, and Money with Edward D. Johnson III of Edward Johnson and Associates, PC. If a traffic stop is turned into something more serious, or you're facing charges after an encounter with law enforcement, visit EdwardJohnsonLaw.com to learn how Edward and his team can step in and protect your case. And remember to leave a review, and subscribe to the show if you found this episode helpful. Thank you, Edward.
Thank you, LeAnn.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.